Welcome to Community Producers. We're your hosts,
Martin Nguyen
and Alvin Yu.
This show provides a unique look at the Capital Region, with everything created entirely by Shaw TV's team of Access volunteers.
Today on the Community Producers, we dive into the wonderful world of orchids, break through barriers with melange, and celebrate a 25th anniversary.
But first, let's get things rolling with Nick McQuick as he finds out how you too can ride.
Hey, I'm Nick McQuick, and we're here at You Can Ride Too, helping disabled children get a leg up on mobility.
You Can Ride 2 has been around for about close to 15 years. We originally started teaching kids to ride two-wheel bikes, and then we saw a need that, well, what about the kids who would never be able to ride a two-wheel bike? What are they getting for opportunities to ride a bike? So then that's how we started the bike loan program, which is what's happening here today.
So what we have today is we have a tricycle that has been built up specially for children with special needs.
Yeah.
And you can see it has a backrest. It's got a bar that's easy to grab. And what it doesn't have, which we need to put on right now, are some pedals. If you can look there, you can see the threads are the different way. So
it's backwards.
It's backwards threads on the left-hand side.
Oh, so okay, lefty tighty, righty loosey.
Yeah.
Like the old saying doesn't say.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I knew it would confuse me at some point.
There you go.
Click.
We're good.
We got a couple pedals.
And we're good to go, and the child should be here in about 15, 20 minutes, half hour.
We have a great team of mechanics here who can do some amazing stuff with like the metalworking and just figuring out how to put things together. So is that adding, a backrest for kids who might be in a wheelchair? Is that giving a child who is in a wheelchair a hand cycle instead, so that they can use their hands to pedal themselves, right? So it's a lot of finesse and figuring out what is that perfect balance to get the bike to fit the child. Because we're not going to necessarily change the child's condition, but we can make the bike work for them. Flip this back up.
If it wasn't for this program, how much do you figure it would cost to get a bike like this custom made?
Thousands. When you got a kid with a disability, they need all kinds of different equipment, but unfortunately they grow as kids do. And so you'd spend a whole ton of money on a bike that maybe works for a year, and then you're stuck with a piece of equipment that you can't use anymore.
Might ask the mechanic about tightening the chain up a bit.
Snug? But the pedals are on pretty good, right?
Yeah, is that the one you did?
Yeah.
They told me that you were going to be changing the pedals.
You asked him?
I don't know.
And if somebody was interested in getting into volunteering and helping out, how would they go about that?
Well, we have a youcanride2.ca website, and you can log on there, and there's opportunities for volunteering. It's a lot of work, many hours before the smiling child rides off into the sunset.
What a nice little program to help everyone get on a bike. Thanks to Nick for stopping by and sharing their story.
Now, when it comes to mental health, many of us are unfamiliar with the stigmas and issues thousands of individuals struggle with each day. With May being Mental Health Awareness Month, local Edmonton organization CASA helps us learn how they assist over 4,000 families and children cope with mental health issues.
CASA has been supporting families in Edmonton and the surrounding area for 25 years. We started out small and now support more than 4,000 children from birth to age 18 and their families each year. We are a champion for children and youth who have mental health and addiction issues, so their families don't have to face these challenges alone. CASA is a partner in learning and contributes through research, education, and being a strong voice for children's mental health. We provide leadership and expertise in children's mental health and youth addictions. CASA is guided by passion shared amongst community leaders who are responsive to community needs. CASA provides many services focused on mental health assessment and treatment for children from birth to 18 years of age and their families. We are family-centered. Families are part of their child's treatment team. Our programs are run by multidisciplinary teams made out of psychiatrists, mental health therapists, nurses, occupational therapists, speech and language pathologists, teachers, classroom behavior specialists, and child and youth care counselors who respond to the individual needs of each child and their family. Our goal is to support children and their families to thrive and meet their full potential. Our approach is focused on early prevention as well as intervention. CASA meets families wherever they are. CASA understands the impact of generational issues related to the parent and parenting styles. CASA youth and families say they feel safe, respected, and heard by CASA staff.
CASA shows us that it's important to feel safe, respected, and heard. From one organization to another, let's move to the Glen Rose Rehabilitation Hospital, where Unit 201 helps children recover from a variety of health issues.
How are you? Yeah. What are you up to? I started at the Glen Rose in February of 1991. I've just started my 27th year and have been here in pediatrics since 1997. So it's the inpatient pediatric unit in the Glen East part of the hospital. So a unit clerk, I do all the answering of the phones, processing the doctor's orders, contacting team members. If a patient comes and they need a social worker, I contact those people and try and get them going into the right direction.
I'm the patient care manager for Unit 201 and nursing supports and pediatric rehabilitation. Unit 201 is a 10-bed patient unit for pediatric rehabilitation situated at the Glen Rose. A day in the life of a patient here on Unit 201 usually starts with assistance in the morning from nursing staff and getting ready for the day. And we have children going off to school for a large part of the day so that they can keep up with their academic progress. In the afternoon, it's back on the unit to have one-on-one time with our child life specialist and our recreation therapy assistant, as well as the nursing staff, getting to know the kids.
We work well as a team, and if there's a certain goal that needs to be met, like fine hand skills, then we can work on that, whether it's sewing, whether it's just kind of putting the pieces together, or even a lot of it too is sensory play for some of the kids here that have a little bit limited mobility. Just playing with them using sensory music, tactile things that we have around here, and yeah, it's really nice.
Hurts or feels not so great, you just talk like that. Ready?
So our patient therapists back here are working with our interactive touch table, in this case with our retouch table from Rehabtronics. The device works with patients to do upper extremity and hand function, as well as cognition activities. So it's a 10-point multi-touch surface. Patients are able to touch, interact with, and play a number of different interactive games to really make their therapy a little bit more fun, a little bit more engaging.
Do you want to pass those along? It's about self-expression, and you get to work on your crafts and really use your imagination to create whatever you want to. while they're here, it kind of takes them off of what's kind of been happening during the process of staying in the hospital.
I think my most favorite part of the job is interacting with the children. They have senses of humors and they come around to my desk and they'll come and visit, and it's just the way the unit is. It's kid friendly, I call it.
Bernie, here we go. There we go. See? There, look. You see that?
Make sure you tune in to next month's Community Producers, where we'll have more from the Glenrose. Now, it's not often that we get to go out of the studio, so we're here today at the Muttard Conservatory
to usher in spring. Don't change the channel, because in just a few short minutes, we'll be busting down some multicultural barriers.
We'll be right back. Do you have a story you want to tell? Why not share it with us as a community producer? For more information on how to contribute to this program, reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, or on our website.
Hey, did you know Canada consists of a diverse set of cultures?
Oh, I didn't know that.
As we learn to live with one another, sometimes we may encounter some cultural issues.
So let's meet Mary Thomas on a new segment called Melange, where she breaks down cultural barriers.
Today we're going to talk about successes that have been made by our eminent panelists, Sam Obo, Luis Cardinal, and Mr. Sohi. So today we're going to talk about what advice can you give to people from your cultures on how do they make the shift from where they are to where they want to be. Sam?
Oh, okay. Well, there are lots of advice to give. I think one of the greatest obstacles for visible minority is this perception that the system is rigged against you, and also there's racism. You know what? Yes, it's true, right? But there are other ways of going around it. For me particularly, there are a lot of actions that looks like racism, right? But I have to tell myself that, you know what, that may not necessarily get you to where you're going to if you have to focus on that. But if you focus on yourself and see how you can cross that obstacle and use that as an opportunity to deal with things, that could work. So a very good example, I always give is when you go for a job interview, you could actually see that you're not getting that job, because of something that is out of your control. But I also ask myself, back in your country, is it every job that you went for that you got? Or if someone stepped on your toes and you complain that guy is racist, look at how he stepped on my toes or whatever, but that's an action, right? So are you telling me that someone has not stepped on your toes in your country? So all those questions, I use it to kind of bring myself back to reality that, oh, you know what, that person is just a human being. So let's address it and deal with it as a human being. That guy was mean to me. It has nothing to do with, racism, per se, because that person is a terrible human being.
Louise, how would you say, some inspiring message that you would like to give?
Well, I think that another word for racism is stupidity with an attitude. And what is that? But it's an idea that somebody gives to you about someone else, and that's it's a fact. It's something that we deal with. I think in any conglomeration of people, any great gathering of people, you will always find people there who will prejudge and discriminate against other people based on the flimsiest of ideas. It's a reality. It's a difficult thing. It's one of the big issues that Canada still has to work through. But for me, facing racism and discrimination is a daily thing. But you get to that point where you say, either I'm going to move forward or I'm going to let this hold me back. And what I found, and what my secret is, it's what my grandfather used to tell me. It's all about relationships. So that means not just building a relationship with your family, which you do need. You need a strong base. You need that family support to help you meet the challenges of the day. But you also need to reach out to other people who are not like you, who come from different cultures, who come from different parts of the world, and begin to trade, as I said before, your stories about who you are and where you come from. And it's amazing how much you have in common with each other than you have difference from each other.
Perfect. I think that would, cover all of us, actually.
Yes.
Mr. Sohi, how would you say, anything that you've done or you've achieved success, you want to share with, other brown people who come from India, who find it so hard here?
Well, what I can share is my experience is that don't let other people define who you are, right? Be the person you are and believe in humanity, because a vast majority of the people are very good people. Don't let that your bad experience with a select number of people hold you back. Believe in people, and it's a relationship. The more you are surrounded by the people who care about you, the people who share your values, or people who who can assist you, or people that you can assist, right? Build those relationships with people from diverse backgrounds, not only within your own community of which culture you belong to, but broaden your outreach to people from different backgrounds. In Canada, I think there's so many opportunities that come your way. The more you can broaden your network, more opportunities that you will.
I really want to thank you for your time that you have invested into the lives of other people. Thank you so much.
What an insightful way to engage us in an important conversation. Thanks, Mary, for breaking down these cultural barriers.
From diversity in our city to diversity in the garden, let's meet up with Jim Hole, who will take us into the wonderful world of orchids.
Hi, I'm Jim Hole. I'm here at the Enjoy Center. Bunch of orchids behind me. Either you're an orchid lover right now, or you will be an orchid lover once you come and see the orchids. Orchids are one of my favorite flowers, and I like them not just because they have very interesting patterns and the fact they are quite easy to grow, contrary to popular belief, but the fact that they've got some interesting history. Now, there's an orchid in Madagascar that was brought to Charles Darwin's attention many, many years ago, and there's a particularly long throat or nectary on the flower. And orchids are pollinated by either bees or moths. So Darwin said there has to be a particular moth with a very long, let's call it tongue, or proboscis is the proper name for it. He says it has to exist because to pollinate that orchid, there has to be a moth like that. Nobody ever found a moth, but Charles Darwin insisted there has to be a moth. So 130 years after his death, they found the moth in Madagascar with this 11-inch long tongue that was designed to extract nectar and pollinate the orchids. So that's the thing about orchids that I love. They're beautiful flowers, but it's the rich stories behind them. It's incredible. Many of them, again, are easy to grow. They just need the basics like every other plant needs. Like I have the Phalaenopsis orchids here, and guess what? You put them in your house, they're going to have flowers lasting for a very long time. You grow them in a reasonable light temperature. You don't have to repot them very often because they don't like to be in conventional soil. And if you're lucky and you do it right, you can have a second little stem coming up from the orchid and have a second display. And if you're really, really lucky, down the road you'll have another little spike coming up with more flowers. It's like a drug, the orchids. Once you get into orchids and you see the incredible array and displays of orchids, you can't help but get hooked.
I'm not sure where Jim got that story from, but something tells me he has many more up his sleeve. Let's take a short break because coming up, we'll celebrate 25 years.
25 years of what?
Be patient.
I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited.
Why are you singing the Jeopardy theme song?
I'm making you think.
Well, it's annoying.
Well, for 25 years, this theme song helped Edmontonians learn about their African and Caribbean descent.
Welcome to Afro Quiz 20 17. We are really pleased to be celebrating the 25th year of Afro Quiz this year. Can you believe that? 25 years. And these contestants have been studying about history, arts, culture, politics. Students, you must answer in the form of a question. And please address me as Black Alex, if you don't mind. Please. This trio from Sherwood Park, Alberta, was on The Ellen Show. Would you watch the clip, please?
I know we better be good to you, 'cause if he doesn't, I'll be there.
Okay, here we go. I'll open up the floor. Go ahead, Habiba.
I'll be there.
That is incorrect. Open up the floor, Divya.
What is Jackson 5?
That is not correct. Last chance, Tanatswa.
Who are the Melaziwe brothers?
That is correct. I feel like it was a really successful round, folks. Can we give these 9-year-olds a big round of applause?
Now that Alvin's out of the picture? Just kidding. Tragedy can strike through many different forms. It can be through an accident or through health problems. Organ donation is one way you can help save a person's life.
Where's your heart? Maybe up here a little bit.
Yeah, I had my heart transplant on January 24th of 2017, and everything's going really good. It took us about 6 months to wait for a heart to be available. So a lot of emotions do go through you, and they don't really hit you until you actually do get that phone call. And as soon as I was at work, and we got it about 2 o'clock in the afternoon there, and I kind of went numb, and of course phoned my wife, and we had to be on the road within a half an hour. So I left work, and I told those guys that we'll see in about a year.
I was 5 months pregnant with Mason when we were actually diagnosed on ultrasound that he only has half of a heart. So we've been on the transplant list now for 3 years. We've been waiting. Just right now our challenge is keeping him homebound because we are really phobic of germs. Try to keep him healthy because we could get the call for surgery any day. And any complications anybody would have for surgery are intense for him because he only has half of a heart. So going to surgery by itself is risky. So we try to keep him as healthy as we can. When we're waiting, it's hard because I hate that we're waiting for somebody to pass away. And then I remind myself that I'm actually not waiting for somebody to pass away because that's going to happen regardless. I'm waiting for somebody to be willing to share with us.
Can you hear anything?
Yes.
Is it going?
Sound good?
Yes.
Do you want one of those too?
Yes.
I'm just so thankful that there's people willing to give us that hope that we get to keep them.
It's the greatest gift you can give after your life. So I thank my donor family, and of course I don't know them yet, but I'm sure glad and grateful that they did become donors because it obviously saved my life.
For more information, or if you would like to become an organ donor, you can visit myhealth.alberta.ca. With Canada's 150th birthday coming up, we head to the Edmonton Food Bank to see how that organization is helping residents in our community.
At Edmonton's Food Bank, founded as the Edmonton Gleaners Association in 1981, another busy day begins. We are a central warehouse for over 230 agencies, churches, schools, and food depots who share a common goal of feeding the city's hungry. Agencies such as the Bissell Center and Hope Mission visit regularly to pick up, then distribute much-needed food to their clients. People go hungry in our community every day, but places like the Hope Mission are a refuge. Our trucks deliver food to the churches and depots, reaching others in need. The Little Potato Company and Sobeys are among an entire community of corporate partners who stand alongside us providing food donations. Beyond the aisles and shelves of over 200 grocery stores and other food industry suppliers lies distressed, unmarketable, but edible food. In 2016, Edmonton's Food Bank gleaned over 2.5 million kilograms of food. The Shaw Conference Centre, Northlands, and Rogers Place also play major roles in the mission of Edmonton's Food Bank. This food becomes part of the hampers that we prepare for a family or an individual in need. A new television program, Cook It Simple, produced in partnership with Nate and Shaw TV, educates people on ways to cook items inexpensively and eat healthy. Everyone has the right to decide what they will eat today, not if. You can visit your local fire hall, grocery store, or any of the hundreds of other businesses with a food bank donation box. Together, we can make a stronger Canada, free of hunger.
Thank you so much for watching The Community Producers. If you would like to get involved and become an Access volunteer, please visit our webpage or contact us through Facebook or Twitter.
This show just doesn't happen without you. Until next time, I'm Martin Nguyen.
And I'm Alvin Yu. Now we're off to enjoy this beautiful view.
Oh, hey, look, there's my place over there.
Oh, me too, there's mine.